Hello and welcome to my first reading of the year. So I have 3 piles set up down below here, and essentially the card here, you can use crystals to kind of pick, but the cards here is going to be a summary of the year, and then from there I'm going to pull specific situations that might happen related to this main summary. I'm going to look at I'm going to divide the year by 3, so the first 4 months, the second 4 months, and the third 4 months of the year, and then I'm going to look at romance, career, and personal growth. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose the amethyst crystal here, and your summary for 2023 is represented by the moon card of Hold Your Vision. Okay, let's see what the book has to say for you. It looks like there are one of 2 possibilities for the summary of this year. One of them is that if you have been working on something for a very long time, or you've been trying to manifest something into your life, it doesn't say whether or not this is career or romance or finances related, but you're going to have to continue to be a bit more stubborn with that and try to stay on top of what it is that you are trying to pursue. And then on the other hand, the second interpretation of this card is that something is going to be stuck, and it could be because you're stubborn and not letting things move forward with it. And maybe that's maybe both will happen at the same time. Maybe towards the beginning of the year you might be sticking to your vision, and then later on you realize it's not really something that you want for yourself. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at a little bit more about what the situation is looking at. Let's get some clarity here. Excuse my shuffling. It's going to be a little rusty because I haven't read in a while. That, and I'm used to shuffling on my floor and not an actual desk. Okay. Pile 1. We have more clarity on this movie card here. Let's not do that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow, we have the world. Let me pull 2 more. Oh, I don't think we want all of those. I get it, a year is a very long span of time, but as I said, I'm a little clumsy. The Chariot. Lots of major arcana, so it looks like you're going to be going through something that is a bit fated. Yeah. That's... Okay. So, let me take the time to gather my thoughts on this specifically. I definitely think that things are going to be aligned for you in 2023, it looks like. And a lot of what it has to do when it comes to the chariot in reverse, I think this is definitely referring more to the first situation where you have to be more stubborn and grounded in what you would like to receive, especially with the pentacle here. That's related a lot to earth signs and earth signs. As you know, I'm a Taurus. We're very stubborn. We are grounded. We hold our vision. A lot of Taurus is, from what I've seen, can be about having a long-term plan in place for accomplishing your goals. So I think that it's definitely referring to the first part of the situation where you have to hold your ground with whatever it is that you would like to achieve within 2023. And it's not easy energy. There's a lot of temptation that can happen. And the devil, the devil is not in this card, so I don't think temptation is really going to be the issue. I just think that there are a lot of moving parts to what you would like to go after, and that might be overwhelming for you. That, or you might get distracted from time to time. You might procrastinate. So that seems like it's outright going to be a challenge. But with the World card here, the World talks about completion and coming to an end of a cycle. So I think as long as you stay focused and as long as you stay on top of your goal and you continue to hold your vision, whatever it is that you have been working on up until this point is going to see some sort of completion within 2023, which is pretty good. And as I said, I do think that things are definitely in your favor because you have the Wheel of Fortune up right here. And the Wheel of Fortune, like, wow, you have a lot of like circular things. So I think things are going to actually come full circle for you. And I don't know, I get the feeling that a lot of it is also about luck and trying to manage that. I'm getting a lot of information at the same time. But I think you're going to have months where you have a lot of good luck with the situation that you're going after and things are going to be looking up. And then you might have a bit of bad luck that might send you into this reversed Chariot energy where you don't necessarily feel like you can persevere or move forward. Like there might be a few blocks here or there, particularly when it comes to your motivation. But you're going to end up completing the cycle and being on top of it as long as you stay focused on that vision. So, I am curious about what your vision specifically is and what's coming to fruition here. But I almost want to just start diving into the next few months. So, pull a few cards for the first 4 months financially. Well, actually, we'll start with career. Ooh. Okay. Six of Wands. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some sort of victory here, for sure. Yeah, the first 4 months look pretty good. I think there's going to be balance. There's not even any like balance cards here, but you're definitely going to be taking a lot of like time to yourself, I think. You're going to be resting, healing from some sort of heartbreak potentially that you've been through, because this does come after the Three of Swords here. But finding that inner peace and taking the time to really kind of step back from things, I think is going to be helpful within the first 4 months when it comes to your career. And maybe this is referring to like a different job than what these two are referring to, because it is a swords card here, and the swords cards have to do a lot with like mental energy and mental stimulation. So maybe the job that you're looking at is something that's like STEM related, and it's not necessarily something that you're passionate about. It's just kind of something that you have felt like it's the best course of action and the most logical decision to take, but it looks like you're going to be resting a lot from that. Could be that, but you also have Six of Wands here, and then the Three of Wands here, and the Six of Wands talks a lot about like, is that the Six of Wands? Yeah. It's interesting, the depiction of the Six of Wands within this deck, because the Six of Wands is about victory. It's about when you have faced a challenge from the Five of Wands and you've been fighting this for a very long time, and maybe that's what the rest is here for. Like, you've been fighting a good battle and you just kind of need to take a breather, especially towards like the beginning of the month. You know, there's Christmas and other nice holidays, like I guess Valentine's Day, as I hesitate to say. but I think that you've definitely put up a good fight and you're going to be victorious with something that you're passionate about. It could be a relationship, but this is a career. So something in your career is going to be very successful, and it's going to feel like all this rain. You're going to see like the rainbow at the end, basically. It's been raining for a very long time, but you're going to see the outcome of that, where it's just like, oh, I came out of this storm. Now there's the rainbow. I can kind of like sit back and enjoy a lot of what I have been dealing with the past few months, maybe from even 2022. And it looks like, I think this might speak more to now, but it could still be within the first 4 months. It looks like you're waiting for something. I think the Three of Wands also refers to travel, but the Three of Wands is a card where you're waiting for results, and since it's upright, those results are probably going to be very positive for you. So I think that the rainbow at the end of the storm is what you're waiting for within the first 4 months there. So your career looks pretty promising within the first 4 months. We'll go ahead and we'll look at finances, and I'll take a completely different deck. Wow. As I said, I'm not used to shuffling on a desk. I'm very used to shuffling on a floor, because I myself am very broke. Okay. Financially, first 4 months, what does that look like? Oh my God. We're gonna take all of them. Yeah, these were gifted to me by a friend, and I found that these are actually some of the most accurate cards that I have dealt with. And I kind of wonder if there's some sort of lore to that, I guess I could say. So financially, you're going to be offered 2 opportunities. Not 2 opportunities, I'm sorry. Either 2 opportunities, or it's the same opportunity. I think that what you're going to be offered financially is something that you are very passionate about, and it could be related to a relationship, it could be related to career. I'm thinking it's more career-wise, because a lot of this connects to what I've previously seen with the career cards. But whatever it is, it's going to be something that you're passionate about, something that really kind of excites you and brings out more of like the adventurous side of you. And it's also something that it could be incredibly emotionally fulfilling for you to be able to pursue, and something that kind of makes you feel like you're just starting to see your dreams coming true for you. The hard part about it is you have the Eight of Cups here. And the Eight of Cups is where you have tried at a situation so many different times. You've tried to bring change to something that has been emotionally draining towards you, and you've done everything that you can about the situation, but the only thing that you can really do right now is to walk away from it. And I think you're going to be mourning whatever it is that you decide to walk away from in 2023 for a while. The good thing about this is that once you walk away from something, you're making room for these new opportunities that I've already described here. So I think that that might be why you're taking some time away from why you received the Four of Swords. And you're really kind of retreating from the world, retreating to heal yourself from a lot of the heartbreak that you have been through, because you are walking away from something that you felt was going to be emotionally fulfilling for you, and you felt was going to really satisfy you at the end of the day. There are a lot of cups here, so I feel like your financial situation right now might be something that you're thinking about in terms of fulfillment and in terms of like your emotions. You have the Four of Cups here. And the Four of Cups is someone who is content with what they have and what they have done, but it's also very like bittersweet. It's kind of the card of boredom. Because you have an offering from this card over here from the lady. She's offering it to him, and he looks very like, meh, you know, I'm being offered something that I don't necessarily care all that much about. And maybe that's what you're walking away from here, is you're just like, I've been in this situation for a long time, I'm dissatisfied, so I'm bored with it. I want to go for a new opportunity. I want to go for something that I'm actually passionate about. So I think you're going to be financially bored a lot of the month. I'm getting the sense that you're just like dissatisfied with your finances. And it's not that anything is like catastrophically wrong. You have everything that you have wanted, but I don't think it's something that you feel would be incredibly fulfilling, like this new opportunity that's coming up here. So that might be what you're walking away from, is being like, you know, maybe this job is giving me everything that I need. I'm financially stable from this job, but I'm very bored with it. I would like to do something new here. So that's why you're choosing to walk away. That's what I see happening here. You do have some reversed cards that I am trying to make sense of. You have the Six of Wands in reverse, which is interesting because in your career cards, you have the Six of Wands upright, and then you have the Two of Swords reversed. And I get the feeling that there's something that you're not seeing, or like you're withholding information, I feel like, to try to keep the peace, or you're not being successful at keeping the peace. You have very meh energy, so I don't feel like you're trying, like, during this first 4 months. I'm sorry, you're not a meh person, I promise. But during these first 4 months, I think that you might not be interested in keeping the peace. I don't think you're going to necessarily be petty towards other people, but I don't think you're going to be like holding back on the truth, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of how to phrase it, and maybe the book that I have has a better way of describing it than I do. Yeah, I think that like this new opportunity that's coming through is definitely going to be good for you, but you're going to have to kind of like face the truth of whatever it is, or kind of like deal with the consequences of that, if that makes sense. I get the feeling too that you might be a little, this card always has like a positive connotation regardless. It's the card of like victory, and succeeding, but with it being reversed, I think that the success might be a little bit delayed. Maybe the success that you were expecting is a little bit delayed in terms of these new opportunities, or that could be why you're walking away from this card here, is you're just like, well, I've fought this for so long, I'm not seeing results. I really don't want to like hold my vision. I don't know. I'm getting multiple different like interpretations in my head, because hold your vision is still relevant here. So I think there's just a delay in your finances. I think that you have the success of the career, but you might not see an immediate like abundance within your finances, if that makes sense. And that might also contribute to this dissatisfaction with the Four of Cups here. But as I said, I don't feel like you're panicking about this. I feel like you have a very logical grasp on things, even if you have a Swords card in reverse. And even though it's painful, I think that at the end of the day, like, you kind of have the emotional capacity to be able to get through with it. Because your energy right now is pretty calm. Okay. We're going to take a look at relationships and romance then. And these are new cards for me. I don't necessarily know how to shuffle them, if I'm being completely honest. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna stretch this. My eyes are closed. And this card feels right to me. I get the feeling that I want to take a card from this side here. Okay. And And then I'm gonna pull this card I'm attracted to as well, just with my eyes open. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull some Arcana cards or not Arcana, I'm sorry, some Tarot as well, not Oracle cards. I think this, look at that. It's such a nice little theme over here. These cards are calling to me in terms of the major versus minor arcana. The tarot deck. I'm half distracted, so I'm just, can I have a card for the first love card that I've pulled? I guess I'll take a few cards. This one shuffled very strangely. Huh. Yeah. Can I have, thank you. I'm just gonna go with this one. And then for the second one, thank you. And then for the third one, please. I just want whatever top one comes out. Oh, oh. Alright. 3 of Cups. Romance-wise. Wow. God. Interesting. Okay. So oh, interesting. So the cup situation that I was talking about earlier could definitely be a partner, because your first one here is surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. So maybe you are actually walking away from a partner that you have been fighting with for a while here, because you have the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands is somebody who has like put up the fight. Like it's not the 5 of Wands type of situation where it's been little like minor contingencies in the road or minor issues down the road. It's like you are fighting a full war. You're fighting in a full battle. And I think this is either saying that you need to surrender that fight, and maybe that will make things easier in your current relationship, or you need to walk away from this person to let it go and to let it work out. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. You have the 10 of Swords in reverse, and the 10 of Swords is pretty similar to the Death card, in you are killing a part of, how do I even describe this card in reverse? You're like killing a part of yourself to be able to be new. Yeah, it looks like you were carrying something from previous relationships, and it could even be this relationship here. Like maybe you're out of a relationship. I feel like you're either in one right now and you're putting up you're putting up the fight and you're trying to like make things work, but you've been fighting for so long that like you don't know whether you should surrender a part of yourself or surrender the relationship in general. Whatever it is, like either a past relationship is causing this, or you have been in this, you've broken up with this person and you've been in this state of agony for a while, and you're holding on to a lot of baggage from said relationship, and maybe you need to surrender that baggage. Maybe that's what's talking about. You've been fighting with this baggage for so long that it's just not good. It's preventing you from really stepping into the next chapter of your love life and moving on to the next person. And I think you have a card about acceptance here. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There's no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. Maybe this person broke up with you. That could definitely be a thing. But whatever it is that has been causing you agony, that you've been fighting with, that has caused you baggage, I think you need to surrender and accept that it happened, or surrender, you know, accept whatever it is that is preventing you from moving into the next relationship. Like, you definitely need to work on some sort of like truth that you are running away from, or that you've been holding on for a very long time. Interesting. You have sexual union, honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. That's definitely a change in dynamic from the first two cards here. It could be that you are like in a relationship right now. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I think with this card here, that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in what I was saying earlier. I definitely think that there's some baggage and you've been putting up the good fight, and maybe like this is who you used to be, where you used to be in a relationship where you're constantly fighting, and you kind of have to, like, I hear, long story short, where you kind of have to throw your sword in the bushes and kind of, you don't need to fight your current partner, I think is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to assume that they're going to treat you like your previous partner did. And I think that honoring them and allowing them in, not allowing the baggage to kind of like stop that from happening, is going to be important here. And you have the Three of Cups as well. The Three of Cups can traditionally mean like a child entering your life, or it could be like opening your circle to other people. It could just be, I feel like, opening yourself up to their friends or opening yourself up to their family. Whatever it is, like, I think that being more open with things is definitely going to be important in romantic bliss within your life at the moment. At least within the first 4 months. We'll see how that progresses. All right, we're going to look at you for the next 4 months. There's hair everywhere because I shed. All right, we're going to do one card, if it decides to do one card. Who are they going to be within the first 4 months? Leave the dragon egg in reverse. Interesting, because that is a spirit card. So there's definitely a lot of major stuff that is happening within the first 4 months with you. No wonder why you're resting a lot. There's just a lot going on. Message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Yeah, there's definitely a truth that you've been ignoring for a while here. Let's see what that is. Oh, retreating. Yeah, it's recommending that you retreat to be able to understand the message that the universe is sending to you. Don't rush, don't push, don't grasp. Find a place of peace. And then it's recommending that you kind of settle and ask the question that weighs heaviest on you. And then stay open to any response you hear. I feel like that's just a confirmation of everything that's happening that month. So, yeah, there's a lot of like soul truth, I think, that's going to be coming to you within the first 4 months. But you definitely do need to take a break, or you are taking a break. And from that break, you're going to be seeing the truth of the matter. And I think you're definitely going to be going through a lot of like self-acceptance, a lot of really figuring out like what you want in life. I don't know. You're definitely growing a lot within the first 4 months. And I think a lot of that it might be more so relationship-wise. I get the feeling that you're just like revamping your life. And I think that, like, especially because this is an egg as well, and we have a lot about like cycles and things like that have come up within the first 4 months. You're going to be hatching into a new person, I think, and you're going to kind of feel like you've been reborn after the first 4 months, which is a crazy time frame. It could even just be like the beginning of the first 4 months, not necessarily the entire year. So let's move into the next 4 months career-wise. Career, power 1. Oh God, I don't want that many. I'm sorry, respectfully. Hierophant reversed. Oh, interesting. Okay. Your career seems very straightforward. Like, I don't know why finances and I think romance was, yeah, whatever. You don't care about that. Not in the nasty way, but in the like, let's get moving. So with strength in reverse, a lot of the times, like, strength talks about trying not to force things and letting things happen as they do arise. It's very, like, natural, and it's associated with, like, Leo. And when is August? Is that within the... Well, I think that is August. Yeah, it's, like, July to August, and that is, I think, within the next 4 months. So whenever August or July rolls around and you are given a situation career-wise, I think it's saying try not to force anything. Kind of let it take its course, go with the flow as much as you can, and don't try to neglect the traditional aspects of things. I tend to take reverse cards more as advice because I think that you will be trying to, like, force things when it comes to your career and try to move things along in a way that's, like, counterintuitive. It could be that you're coming out of your break and you're like, well, I'm not seeing any progress. I really want to see progress. So that's why you're trying to be adamant about making things come true. And then the Hierophant in reverse, it talks about somebody who is trying to ignore sacred knowledge or ignore traditional knowledge of something. So I think you're trying to, what's the word? And these are my major arcana. So I think a lot of, like, 2023 for you is going to be related to, like, career. A lot of, like, the crazy stuff or the fated stuff that happens is related to career. But I think you're going to be trying to ignore a lot of the status quo, and you're trying to, like, not necessarily allow that to control you, because this is a lot about, like, the status quo in more masculine areas of life. But I don't think that is going to be, I mean, it could be. I think that, like, maybe the status quo has been weighing you down for a long time, because you do have the clarification of the Ten of Wands here. And the Ten of Wands reverse is where you're trying to, like, free yourself from very oppressive situations. Like, maybe you've been taking too much onto your plate. You're trying to, like, prove yourself in a way that is really, like, the traditional Ten of Wands card is where they have, like, 10 wands on their back and they're trying to, like, transport it, and it's just too much weight to carry. There's, like, too much of a burden to really deal with there. So it could either be that you end up dropping the ball because you've been taking on way too much on your career and it's starting to really show in your work, or it could be that you're finally, like, freeing yourself from the status quo, freeing yourself from this sacred knowledge because it feels like it's starting to weigh you down. And I don't I'm not getting the feeling that it's really like a bad thing. I kind of want to ask what the outcome of that is. What is the outcome of this month? Maybe we'll see it within the last chapter, but I'm very curious. Oh, yeah, so it isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that, like, especially with the Seven of Wands here, this card specifically in this deck talks about having to, like, stand alone against something, and maybe everyone else is kind of, like, following the status quo, and it's not really, like, doing anything for them. Like, it feels very oppressive to them, but they're not really standing up for it. So you could be, like, the one that's standing successful amongst those around you. And then you also have the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles is like somebody who has been working really hard to see success, and someone who has really like cultivated a good life for themselves their entire lives. So I think that whatever energy comes within the next 4 months is going to be pretty good. So maybe it is to like, I don't think that you should be forcing things, to be completely real with you. I do think that this card is a little interesting when it comes to strength in reverse, but I think that this, like, challenging the status quo actually might be a good thing and might lead to more fruition for you. Okay. Finances. Oh my god, come on. These cards are so good, but they're so slippery. Okay. Finances. Always giving me a shit ton of cards. Oh, Major Arcana. Damn, this year looks very... Okay. It's always interesting because the Hierophant was reversed when it comes to finances. Oh. Okay. So, when it comes to your career, I think you have a completely different, like, even though your career does lead to money, it's interesting that you have a completely different outcome between the two of those. So, where do I even begin? I think it might be a bit of a hard month within the second of the 4 months. You have the Empress in reverse, and the Empress, when it comes to finances, or when it comes to life, it's like feminine energy and abundance and growth that comes with that. It's being gentle, is if I remember correctly. So I think you might not be seeing either as much as what you expected when it comes to your finances, or you're not going to be seeing a lot in general, which is a little scary, but it's kind of meant to happen. That sounds like horrible, but I think that like that might be a challenge within the last 4 months. And it looks like it has something to do with like you're trying to follow the financial status quo with the Hierophant. You're trying to rely on previous knowledge of finances and how to handle that, and that might not necessarily work for you. That, or maybe Spirit is encouraging you to really look at the traditional way of dealing with your finances. It's also, if I remember correctly, I think that that's also when your taxes are kind of due around that time frame. I don't know why that popped up. Maybe that's a specific message for some of you. But whatever it is, it looks like you are following this status quo because you are too scared of taking the leap. You are too scared of committing to something. So you're kind of like shying away from that, and that might be what's preventing your abundance from happening. because you don't believe that this leap of faith is something that will catch you. You don't believe that this leap of faith is something that you have to commit to. And that maybe could be, I don't think it's career related, because in your career, it seems like you're ignoring the status quo and it's helpful towards you. But I think when it comes to your finances, maybe you're ignoring like the vision. Maybe you don't want to take a leap with the vision that you have because of finances, something along those lines. And then you have judgment in reverse, which is always scary. Everything leading up to those next 4 months has been, the universe has weighed everything that you've done in that time frame. And judgment in reverse, how do I want to read that? Yeah, a lot of this is like about accepting mistakes, because it looks like you're going to be seeing the consequences of your actions, and you might be like punishing yourself from hiding away from the world again. Like maybe you are coming out of that period where you've been in for a while, and then you're facing the consequences of coming back into like the financial world, or you're facing consequences of like your spending. Whatever it is, like if you make a financial mistake, then that might be why, like maybe this is like a mistake from your past is kind of paralyzing you and preventing you from taking that leap, and that's why you feel the need to like go to the Hierophant to get traditional knowledge of things. I don't know if the answer does lie in traditional knowledge. Maybe that's something for you to figure out. Looks like the universe is trying to choke me, so maybe like I should look at whether or not that would be successful for you. What is the outcome of following the traditional path? Oh, thank you. Oh, I guess you did need to hear that. I think oh yeah, you're trying to hold yourself away, I think. You're definitely trying, like, you're taking what has happened from the past with this judgment situation very hard, and you feel kind of like stuck in your finances. You feel like what you have to offer isn't as good as what this Hierophant has to offer, but you definitely do have something good to offer within these next few months. I'm glad the universe choked me, because that definitely confirmed a lot of what I've been thinking. Okay, I'm editing, and I actually wanted to have some input as well. I think that by following the traditional knowledge and ignoring your own common sense and your own intuition about the situation, you're going to realize that like money doesn't buy you happiness. As I was looking through this reading, I kind of realized a lot of it had to do with the fact that like maybe you are deciding to go to a more like creative project. Maybe you aren't following the rational path when it comes to your finances, and that is very scary for you. And I think that like if you continue to follow the traditional path and you continue to try to follow the traditional knowledge when it comes to your finances, you're going to realize that there's like this void within you, and that you're trying to go for money, but money isn't necessarily bringing you happiness or satisfaction at the moment. So I just wanted to add that. Okay. Romance. Get the feeling. Okay. For the second half of 2023. Okay. I almost just want to pull two. What did I do for romance cards? I pulled one of these. No, I don't want all of that. I'm sorry. That was just my grip things. Pentacles. Pentacles. We saw you. We're seeing you a lot this month. I'm gonna take those two. Okay. Oh. Wow. So in your romance life, I do think that things are definitely looking up. You have a soulmate card here. With you in spirit is interesting to me. It looks like you're still harboring some baggage within the second third of the month. Because you have the card that says, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. And I think that I definitely do think that you're going to be working on yourself and that you're still going through the work. I don't think that this is like a relapse of anything or you not being self-aware in any means. I think it's more so like an encouragement of maybe you still have unwanted thoughts from time to time and you're dealing with trying to fight them, and this is a way of like dealing with that, but it's still definitely encouraging you to seek new opportunities and to leave behind whatever has been happening, whatever has been holding you back, so that you can open new opportunities for yourself. I think when this, like, you're definitely going to enjoy being independent. If you're in a relationship or if you are single, you feel like you have everything that you have already, and I think you're going to be more focused on like career and finances than finding a partner, and that's what this might mean. That, or like you or your partner are kind of off doing your own thing that you would like to do. So I think that you're definitely working on like dissolving these unwanted thoughts and trying to create room for your soulmate. I do think for most people in this pile, it's going to be that you are like still single, because it says that, no, like this could also be true though if you are with a partner. I think that like you're definitely going to be away from them for a while, and they're going to be off doing their own thing. You're going to be off doing your own thing. Maybe you took the job opportunity from the new financial opportunity, from the first few months, and you guys are at a distance because maybe that job requires, or that new financial opportunity, I shouldn't even say job, requires you to travel. Maybe they're traveling, but whatever it is, I feel like you're going to be spending time away from your partner, or you're not necessarily going to be in a relationship at that time. Whatever it is, you're feeling pretty satisfied. But I think that this is referring to the person. It could also be referring to you, however it resonates, but they're very truthful. Like, you or this person is very truthful. Whoever represents the Page of Swords in this case, they don't mince their words. They aren't too considerate about people's feelings. They're more concerned about like what the truth is with the situation. And I feel like the way that it was described to me is that the Page of Swords is also somebody who is a student, and they're trying to learn and gain knowledge about the world. But I think that your expectation for your romantic relationship with the Four of Wands here, it's definitely not what you imagined it would be like. It could be a little bit of like a disappointment with your relationship with your soulmate. And it could be that you're disappointed. I don't feel like you're disappointed with the distance between you guys though. When you have the Nine of Pentacles, you're pretty satisfied with being independent. But maybe, I think this might be the case. I think maybe you definitely do like miss them from time to time, and you're sad that you don't get to spend as much time with them, and maybe like you miss celebrating with them. You miss being able to accomplish wins together and to have them kind of rooting for you. And that could be what's causing you, like, that could be the reason why it says, like, believe this and they will manifest physically. It could be that, like, maybe you didn't expect your soulmate to be like this. Maybe you're a little bit disappointed with your soulmate being like that. Or maybe you're just disappointed with the situation because you would like to be there with them in spite of being happy with your current independence. But I do think that it's good energy, because the Four of Wands is similar to the Six of Wands in that, like, a celebration is going to happen. There's going to be good to it. It's just there feels like there's something missing, and it could be your partner that you feel like you're missing in that moment. Even if you are single, like, there are times, I think, when you would like to celebrate with your soulmate and you think of them and you're like, it would be nice if I had somebody here cheering me on. But I'm happy with the fact that I accomplished this. I'm still happy with the result of what I've achieved. So overall, like, not bad energy so far. Okay, and then we'll look spiritually for the... Ooh, I do need to shuffle, actually. Do you mind giving me a card, universe? They don't have a lot to say about that month. Here we go. The Bat. Yeah. So it looks like you're definitely going to be letting go of something, and you're going to be closing out the chapter. I think I'm remembering the World card at the beginning of the reading. I think whatever you were working on within the first 4 months, career-wise, might be closed out at this point, and you're learning to accept what has happened to you. Maybe in terms of the relationship too that you have been in. You're accepting that relationship baggage and you're moving on, and you're no longer, like, stuck on that. Like, you're definitely killing something so that you can move on to the next cycle of your life. That's such a weird way of phrasing it, but something is coming to an end and you're accepting it, and I think you'll be ready to move on at the end of the third of the month. All right, and then the last component. Thank you for being present here for your reading so far. Career for the last third of the month. Is this still recording? It is. All right, the last third of the month, career-wise. Oh my God. Yeah, your career is like the superstar of this entire month, I feel like. Because everything else has been very, like, meh so far. Not meh, but it's, like, not as major as career. So you're coming out of isolation of some sort. Maybe you're making a comeback. For some reason, I feel like for some of you, you're an author and you're, like, going to be publishing your book or something like that. And it's going to be a pretty major thing because you're like, oh, I haven't published something in a while. Or maybe you're a musician and you're like, oh, I haven't released something in a while. But I feel like, yeah, this is more of you coming out of isolation and ending that period of isolation since death is here. I don't think you've been lingering in it for too long, but that's the alternative. I guess I'll leave that open to some of you as well. You've either been waiting in isolation for too long, or you're coming out of a period of isolation where it's like, actually there are 3 ways that I've learned to interpret this card, and the third is also that like there's a need to leave this isolation period that you've been in for a while. And a lot of like what you've been dealing with this entire next year is being in isolation, but I think that that isolation was necessary for a lot of your growth, especially when it comes to, I don't even want to say especially with when it comes to your career. I think it's with every aspect of your life that this isolation was good, but I think you're definitely coming out of it within the last few months of the year. And then you also have the Death card here. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Whatever had ailed you in the beginning of the year, I think is coming to an end, and you are actually like putting in very necessary work to ending everything that had been going on with you, and you are like finishing out the cycle that you have been dealing with, and not in a way where it's like the final completion, because this isn't the World card here, but in a way where it's like you can move into 2024, and actually next year's 2024. I've been saying 2023 this entire time. You can move into 2025 knowing that you are going to be entering into a new beginning. But whatever this ending is with your career, it's very transformative for you. And I get a sense of excitement just from these cards. So I think the universe is definitely excited to see how your vision is going to unfold, because we can't forget about this, about your vision here. Okay, finances. I'm kind of scared to ask because they love to hit you with a ton of cards with finances. Finances for the last half. Oh my god, come on. That was my fault, because as I said, my shuffling. Oh god, oh god. Yeah, that was my shuffling. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. Okay. We'll take this. This seems good. So right off the bat, you're definitely coming into a more mature period with your finances, and I think you're no longer trying to force things to happen for you financially. You're definitely letting your finances take their natural course, which is always a good sign when you're not having to be very stingy with your money, and you can kind of like, I don't think you're overindulging. Well, yeah, we'll have to talk about this card, but I think you're letting things take their course for you financially, and you're not trying to like force things to happen. You're not trying to force the situation with your finances to go better. And I definitely think that you're more emotionally satisfied during this month. The Queen of Cups is somebody who is, they're that friend that's very sympathetic, very in tune with their emotions. They've been through a lot in their lives, so they're able to kind of tell like when something's wrong with you. They're able to kind of tell, like, they just kind of read you. I think of more like a very mature empath. So when it comes to your finances, I think that that just means that you're kind of, I feel like you're able to read the situation with your finances really well. Yeah, you're definitely very patient with your finances. You have a firm understanding of what needs to be done to fulfill you emotionally. But you do have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And I was going to say that you're not overindulging, but with this here, it's interesting because I think that you are emotionally satisfying yourself this month when it comes to your finances, but you're not necessarily doing it wisely. Because the Queen of, it could be that like maybe you're not, well, I don't feel like that's the case with the Queen of Cups here, But I think that you might be like overspending on things that might not necessarily be a good decision to make. You might be wasting a little bit of your finances and maybe like overindulging in what makes you feel good at the moment. It's somebody who has become like, who wants to receive more than they want to like give when it comes to their finances. So maybe you're just being like overall like saving up your resources at the time. I just don't get the impression that this is a negative coin, but you might be like more materialistic at that point, because maybe you're finally seeing your finances come through. Whatever it is, like, I think you're prioritizing more of this emotional fulfillment over the practicality of finances. Okay. Romance. We'll see where this leads. I think I've already chosen this card, but I have my eyes closed. There's definitely something here that I want to pluck. Interesting. Could just be my shuffling technique, but I did shuffle them around a bit more. But it makes sense at the end of the day. I think you're still, I probably won't even pull some tarot for this as well, because it seems pretty self-explanatory here. You're still working on accepting parts of the baggage that you've been dealing with for this long, and trying to be less controlling about your love life situation. And you're also trying to work on dissolving those unwanted thoughts and creating room for new opportunities for yourself. I hope that wasn't too disappointing. But it's honest at the end of the day. All right. Who are you going to end 2024 as? I do want to say, while I'm shuffling this, that you can change the outcome of this situation. It's not set in, well, some things are kind of set in stone and are going to happen eventually, especially the major arcana situations. Like, I think your career, whatever is going to happen, is meant to happen to you. Hope it's not anything negative, but it doesn't seem like it has been this reading. But you can change the outcome of the situation, and I hope that you are able to do so in the process of 2024. Even if it makes me an inaccurate reader. But you're ending it as the Scorpion. It's interesting that they're represented as... What is that? That's an air sign? No, that's a fire sign. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Yeah, I definitely think that you're trying to focus on an unresolved part of your past, and you've been scorned by whatever that situation is, and it has made you resentful, it looks like, and maybe like you're dealing with that resentment towards the end of the year. I know my feelings, especially if you've been in a very long-term relationship, you have a lot of like pent-up feelings that you have to kind of deal with, and a lot of like emotions that you have to come to terms with. So I don't necessarily think that this is a bad thing. I think you might finally be getting angry about what had happened to you, and dealing with whatever anger comes from that, because it's a fire sign, you know. I think of rage and anger when I think of fire signs, even if that's not like traditionally the interpretation of that. But you're definitely dealing with your stuff. But I think I hope this reading was helpful, and do remember from this card to hold true to your vision. Make sure that you stay fixed on whatever it is that you dream of throughout the ups and downs of next year. And I hope this was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed hearing this reading, and see my socials below. Thank you. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. I believe this is calcite. I will put a correction in there if I'm wrong about that. But nothing is yet set in stone is the theme for your year. So it looks like this year, upcoming year for you, might be filler content, I want to say, but it looks like you definitely have an opportunity here to shape things in the way that you would like to shape things, which is completely different from Pile 1's message that they received. So let's see what the book says about the mutable moon. Yeah, the situation that you're asking for is far from finalized. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvelous. It means you can still change the course of the outcome. However, there is also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, this is good news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with the uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is set in stone yet. So, that could either be a very scary thing, because maybe you want something to happen for you, and for me, whenever I do readings and I get this card, I'm like, damn, because I know I'm gonna have to work hard at what I'm getting at, and that means that it's not, you know, gonna be easy. But for others, maybe like you've been dealing with a lot of shit, and forgive my language, you just kind of want to not deal with it anymore, and you would like a change from whatever you've been going through. So I'm gonna pull some cards here to describe the situation a bit better. I said this with the first pile, I'm gonna say this again. My shuffling has not been the best, so, but I will always pull what I feel is accurate to you. I got that the last time I did this, so I feel like that's not necessarily... Okay. Interesting. Why is this Daughter of Wands here, Spirit? Can you clarify that? Oh. She's throwing cards. Looks like there are 3 of them here. So we're definitely getting a big explanation of what's going on there. So I definitely see what the situation is right now and why nothing is set in stone yet. We'll start with the 4 of Pentacles, because that's the easiest one to describe for me. 4 of Pentacles is somebody who is doing well for themselves, but they're not necessarily being the most charitable. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's somebody who is keeping their resources close to their heart. Things are stable for them at the moment, and it's the beginning of, I guess, stability when it comes to your finances, because it is the 4 of Pentacles. It's not the 10 of Pentacles or the 9 of Pentacles yet. And I think the reason why you are doing that is because you have had some sort of connection fall through. This could be something that is emotionally fulfilling for you. Maybe your dream career fell through for you. You're no longer working there. Or it could be a connection with somebody. It's not necessarily romantic. It could be familial. It could be professional. It could be romantic. Whatever you want to call it. But I think that that's why you're being stingy with your resources, because maybe this person that you had a falling through with was providing a lot of those resources for you, and now you're like, well, I don't know what's going on with my finances or what's going to happen with my finances. So I'm really keeping things close to myself. Understandable. I don't think that this person was good for you. And if they were, you definitely learned a lot from them. So I think this represents you, but for some people it could represent a person in your life. Could be this person that you had a falling out with in general, because this did come out around the same time that these two cards came out. But this is somebody who is beginning in the realm of passions. There's somebody who is very like overzealous, excited, wants to bring some sort of change to the world, but they are young and inexperienced in that realm and are just getting things moving. And this is a fire card, so it could be referring to it refers to passion of any sort. And passion could be either related to your work or it could be related to your relationships in general. So you could be somebody who is fairly new in the dating game and still trying to figure out what they want to do. You could be somebody who is like a young adult, maybe you just graduated from college, and you, from my personal experience, you don't really know what you want to do when you are new to the realm of passion or relationships. You don't have the experience that other people do, and maybe that's why you're trying to bring new ideas to the table. You're not very confident, though, about what you're trying to manifest. And I think that that's why nothing feels like it's set in stone for you. That's why I think this card might refer to you, because a lot of it makes sense if I read it in this way. That, or this person was incredibly manipulative towards you and had not the best intentions with what they were personally trying to manifest, and you got caught up in their manipulative scheme, and that really like knocked you down. But I do think this is, for most of you, this is going to be referring to you, this card, and this one as well. I feel like you don't feel like you have the resources to move forward. You don't have the confidence of the Magician to feel like you can manifest things, and that's why nothing is yet set in stone, because you are working on building that up. And the reason I suspect that this is a connection with somebody else that has fallen through is because of a lot of this card and this card here. Well, I don't think this card might not be related to this at all, actually, but I definitely think the Ten of Swords in reverse is related to it. Because the Ten of Swords reversed is rock bottom, and it's where you are still holding on to. This card is like very similar to the Death card, and the Death card talks about like endings that needed to happen in order for you to go forward. When you have the Ten of Swords here, you are still holding on to something, whether that's an old version of yourself, whether that's this relationship here, and that is preventing you from moving forward in a way that is conducive to you. And I think that you holding on to whatever has happened in the past is causing all these delays with the Eight of Wands here, because the Eight of Wands is delays in general. And I think, and overall, this situation is why nothing is yet set in stone for you, because I think you've been shaken for so long by what has happened that it's hard for you to know like what I want necessarily, or it's hard for you to feel like you can get what you want because you're young, you're inexperienced, and you haven't gone through what you need to go through yet for you to be able to be who you need to be, or for you to want to set something in stone and to work towards setting things in stone, if that makes sense. So, first part of the month. Your career. We're gonna look at your career within the first month of 2024. If it would pull cards for me, that would be great. I'm addicted to my tarot all the time. Career. High Priestess. I don't know why these cards keep coming out. Maybe I should just... Okay. I think there have been a lot of overwhelming challenges with your career within the first 4 months. And because Wands definitely refers to the workplace. It deals with passion as well, as I've said. So I think for some reason gossip is coming to mind for me, but I don't think that gossip is related to the Wands cards all that much. But you're definitely facing a lot of challenges that have started to weigh you down. But I also think that like your intuition is going to be key to the first 4 months of your career, and listening to that intuition is going to bring you a lot of success. I feel like you're the type of person that's very perceptive of what's going on behind the veil and what could happen in the career, and that's something that definitely guides you through life and definitely sets you apart from other people. You also have the Judgment card, and it's interesting that that's the major arcana. Seems to like to be around people's careers, because it was the same with Pile 1. But with Judgment, it's like the universe has considered everything that you have accomplished thus far and is going to show you the final decision of that through within the first 4 months of your career. And I think that you might have to make like a certain big decision at work. Maybe you do like law as a profession of some sort, because that would make sense with the High Priestess. Like maybe you're able to very clearly like pick your clients. Maybe you're able to know how you want to like set up your defense, or how you want to... I don't know a lot about law careers myself, but your intuition definitely helps you a lot with what you're doing. But with Judgment, you don't necessarily have to. That's probably just for like a very select few of you that happen to come across this. But the consequences of your actions are definitely coming, and I think this is more of a positive outcome than anything else. Yeah, and you're going to experience a period of growth and change, and you're going to have a rebirth of an understanding of yourself as well as the world around you through the first 4 months of your career. And maybe that's going to help you get knowledge in setting things in stone the way that you would like to set things in stone. But there's definitely going to be like overwhelming challenges here and there that might have been harder than what you expected.
I forgot to mention too, now that I'm looking back at the footage, since you have the Five of Wands there, that talks about navigating challenges and showing people what you're really made of through passion. And based on how you navigate those challenges and the Judgment card being there, I think that the way that you approach your career within these few months is going to really set your path in stone.
And this also apparently talks about conflict with yourself. So maybe you've been fighting yourself for a while and you don't feel like you're capable of doing something, and you have low self-esteem about what's happening around you, but the High Priestess is telling you, like, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, believe that where you're going and what you're doing is correct in your career. Okay. Finances. How do your finances look in the first 4 months of 2024, from January to April? You definitely have a lot more clarity of mind than the first group has, in spite of your youth. Because things are happening very smoothly for me right now. And for pile 1, it did not. Finances. Queen of Cups. Right on. Knight of Swords in reverse. Why is it a lot of people? I think I'll just leave it at that, because the first pile had a crap ton of cards. Sorry, I shouldn't cuss. But you definitely... I don't feel like there's a lot going on for you when it comes to your finances. I think this is somebody who is very emotionally mature, somebody who is understanding of the way that they want their finances to go, very intuitive of how they deal with their money. And I think with Cups energy as well, you're definitely spending money on things that are going to satisfy you in the long run, which is always good. I think you have an understanding of the way that your money looks and how you would like it to go. But I do think that there are some harsh truths that are going to be coming financially to you through the first few months of 2024. Maybe you might indulge in this energy a bit too much, where you're like, I want to buy things that make me feel good, but then it might not be practical to carry through with those decisions. And the Knight of Swords is like somebody who tends to be very like fast and cruel and a bit inexperienced with the truth. So that could be how you feel about like your money. Either the situation that happens with your finances is going to feel very fast and cruel, but truthful and honest, or maybe you're that way with yourself where you're like, oh, I can't really spend money on this thing yet because of yada yada yada, I'm expecting this, expecting that, whatever the case may be. Romance. I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out. I'm gonna shuffle these a bit better. And I'm gonna try something I didn't try for pile 1, because pile 1 was very interesting. I definitely have blue energy. I don't know how to describe that, but maybe your favorite color is blue. Or maybe it's just the fact that you're a water sign of some sort. This card is like very attractive to me, so I think I'm gonna pull that, and I'll just pull one. Okay. That's very, like, I'm just looking at it and I'm mesmerized by that heart card right there. Seems like somebody's been holding on to something emotionally for a while. Let's get some clarification on love for the first 4 months. I'm sorry, that's very loud. Can we get some clarification, my guy? Oh, that's what you're holding on to is some sort of... Oh my god, the cards are going everywhere. Relationship, huh? Interesting. Okay, I feel pretty satisfied with this spread. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. I don't think this is... okay, you're probably very likely in a relationship right now. Because that, or you're meeting somebody fairly soon that is going to feel like they are helping you with your self-esteem of some sort, or helping you through the problem that I've described here. I don't know if this is referring to you or if this is referring to the other person, but they are somebody who is very like overprotective, might be a bit too controlling at times, because they want to see you stable and happy. I think this might be a partner of some sort, but maybe it's a parent, because the king is more mature and older, but since he's reversed, he's kind of a dick in a way. Not to be rude. It could be an earth sign of any sort, but whoever it is, they have some sort of stake in your love life, or they feel they have some sort of stake in your love life. They're a bit over controlling. I feel like they're genuinely a very like quiet person. I'm trying to think of what else. They might be unhealthy at times, but whoever that seems to describe has some sort of... Can we clarify why this person is here? That makes sense. I think this might be a past lover of some sort. There's somebody that you need to let go of. I feel like this is one of my friends that I'm talking to right now. Because this situation is very similar to hers. But there's something that you need to sacrifice and let go of before you're able to move forward in your relationship. And I think that has something to do with this person that is overprotective, a bit mean-tempered, trying to control you for the sake of stability. You need to let them go, basically. And you need to sacrifice them in order to move forward in the next area of your relationship. And maybe you're working on that. I feel like with this card here, you're definitely holding on to that, and that's kind of preventing you from moving forward. But I think you're going to meet somebody within the first 4 months that that's not like this person at all. It could also be this person here that, like, maybe you do need that energy of somebody who's a little overprotective and over controlling, but I doubt that with the Hanged Man here. I think that you're going to meet somebody who is going to help you find the missing pieces of yourself that you've been looking for a while. And that's going to help you set things in stone. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but very straightforward so far, but you give wholesome energy in this reading. Okay. Now, who are you going to be within the first 4 months of 2024? The cards just don't want a card today. The buffalo and the otter. Interesting. So you have water and you have earth energy within you. This is not the right book. Okay. I think the buffalo is a pretty spiritual creature, I would say. So I assume you yourself are very... I feel like you're a water sign, but earth signs could also be here as well. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise toward heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. So, I feel like that says all that it needs to say. I definitely think it connects back to the Daughter of Wands from earlier, where you're somebody who is very creative, very passionate about life, and I think that you don't let a lot of things get you down. But I do think internally you have a little bit of insecurity, as everyone does. Let's see what the otter refers to with water energy. Hello, where are you? I know you're a water sign. Please. Maybe you're further along than I thought. Where's the otter? The otter! There she is. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely someone who's full of love and gentleness and playfulness, and you don't really have a lot of doubts or worries or skepticism. You try to stay genuinely positive throughout life. That's the energy that you have within the first 4 months of 2024. You honestly seem like a very wholesome person to do a reading for. Let's get to the second part of 2024. What does your career look like then? What does your career look like then? Career for the next half of the Lover's card really wants to come out. Give me something I can... I probably should have let that, but if it's meant to come out, it'll come out. Okay. Death in reverse. Oh my god. Did you see that? I hope that you saw that, because that might be significant. My dude. Two of Wands. That was interesting. I think there's somebody that's going to be entering your life within the career-wise, like a coworker, that's going to be very like logical, a bit older than you, it sounds like, has masculine energy in general with the Son of Swords. They're somebody who uses truth as like a weapon. Think of like a knight where his sword is knowledge and logic and truth in general. And there's somebody who will fight very passionately for the truth, make sure that it comes to light. And if you saw when I was shuffling, it kind of like hit the death card and reversed it. I think that they're going to help you end whatever it is eventually that you've been holding on to for a long time. Like, they're going to use the truth and their sword of truth to be able to help you realize that you do need to end things and let things go. Because it looks like you're still in that energy when it comes to your career. Like, you don't really want to end. Maybe it's a project that you've been working on for a while. Maybe it's the career itself. You're resisting some kind of transformation when it comes to your career. And this coworker is ultimately going to be the person that helps you realize that truth about yourself. And then you have the Two of Wands here. And I think towards the middle of 2024, you're going to realize that you have a lot of potential to shape your career in the direction that you would like to shape it in. You're not necessarily going to be acting towards that yet because, well, you could, but it's there. You can see the vision there, and you can see the course that you would like to take, and you know that things are going to, or you hope that things will move in the way that you want it to move. Nothing is yet set in stone, I will remind you, and this card is also a reminder of that because it's potential. It's not anything that's been acted on yet. I feel like things are going to be changing pretty fast for you too. Like this is definitely a year of change where I feel like you're going to have a lot that's kind of thrown your way. I don't think you're going to be losing balance because we don't have any cards yet that talk about that. But we'll look at your finances for 2024, the middle. 2024. Oh my god. Okay. Knight of Cups. This is somebody who is very romantic and somebody that I've been described as you would ride off into the sunset with them. They wear their heart on their sleeves. They fight for the things that they love. They have a lot of like emotions, but they're not necessarily like the most mature of the deck. They're definitely somebody who I feel like is, or maybe you're getting a little bit older with the ways that you view your finances. For some reason I get the feeling that you're going to be spending money on like a lover of some sort, or you're going to be spending money on things that make you feel like that. Like maybe you're somebody who is deeply into romance books and you're going to be buying a lot of romance books that make you feel this way or has a main character this way within that month. But you definitely have a lot of, this is the card of illusionary choice. You feel like you have a lot of options available to you, but you don't necessarily know like which one's a good one or which one's a bad one. I've been through this before with my finances as well, where I'm like, do I want to buy a desk? Do I not want to sleep on a mattress on the floor anymore? But you have to be careful with this card because even though you do have a lot of options, as I said, they're not all good. Some of them are very elusive and not necessarily true. And it feels very like foggy for you when it comes to making these financial choices. So I feel like you're going to be spending a lot of money on romance related things. And you're going to have you feel like you have a lot of choices available to you that you can spend on financially, if that makes sense. Not a bad position to be, group 2. Romance. I want this one. I want this card. I do like this one as well. The purple looks good together, and I feel drawn to that. I feel like purple as a color is kind of significant this month. And Lavender Haze by Taylor Swift, maybe? Maybe you're in a relationship where it's somebody that is supportive of you. That could be significant, where you're just like, I kind of want to stay in this very romantic feeling, especially the fact that like your finances are involved. But we'll see what the situation is. What is their love life within the second part of 2024? What is going on with their love life? Cards really don't want to come out. Cards really don't want to come out this time. So maybe this is all that needs to be said. Oh, that's pretty nice, actually. So it looks like you're going to really be focusing on befriending the person that you're dating and really getting to know them in the platonic sense. And it does look like your relationship honestly seems awesome with whoever you're with or whoever you get with in this year, because you also have sacred union here, honor and treasure your relationship, where it is truly sacred. I feel like just when I was doing the shuffling that this person is very stable for you, and some person that you can really count on, and someone that you're going to feel very grateful for within the month or within the middle half of 2024. But other than that, I think they kind of want to keep things secret in a way, because usually it's like a few polls where I get something, but that's wholesome. I don't think there really needs to be any more of an explanation there. Maybe I'll do a love reading later and we'll see how that goes for a different video. Who are you going to be in the middle half of 2024? Ooh. Who are we going to be in the middle of 2024? Who is Pile 2 going to be? Interesting. The lamb in the verse and the wolf in reverse. I don't feel like the wolf should be here, but I think you're going to have a lot of anxiety within the next few months, and I think that anxiety is going to make you feel... So the wolf upright talks about somebody who is interested in the pack dynamic. So maybe you're very family oriented as a person, or maybe it's related to your friendships or relationships of any kind. But when they're reversed, they assume that what is best for them, or their idea of what is best for other people, is actually best for that other person. So they kind of become a bit more controlling because they want to see it through for other people. And I think that might be the case for you, where you're trying a lot. You might be a bit more dominating or forceful with that person. But it's very contradictory towards the lamb, because the lamb is someone who is timid and concerned and stays quiet. They have a lot of knowledge to share and a lot of wisdom, but they don't want to come forward with that. So I think you're going to have an inner conflict between this wolf energy and this lamb energy, where you're trying not to be as dominating. You're trying to accept the fact, or you're struggling to accept the fact that people have different paths than what you have. But you also, and you want to speak up, but you also want to be like more quiet and timid, and you're concerned with that person, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, do I speak on it or do I not speak on it, is the vibe that I'm getting within the middle of 2024. Okay. The last part of the year. Career. What does your career look like? I think that this is very vague too, because as I said, nothing is set in stone, and this is a yearly reading. So that might be why your year isn't as specific as Pile 1's. Career for the end of 2024, the career. Seven of Cups again. And the Emperor reversed. Interesting. So you're definitely trying to be more controlling in your career. Your energy seems to have shifted, where I think that you have a lot of ideas and a lot of passion for things. And at first you're very much so like the mutable moon, where you're easily like shaped into what you need to be. But I think over the course of the year, you're going to feel the need to have more control over certain situations or over your life. And that might cause a lot of like chafing, because this is somebody who is a bit over controlling. Or maybe what I said earlier about you being the King of Pentacles in reverse is about you, where you're just trying to protect things and you're trying to protect people in your life. But it's definitely not good. You're trying to bring peace and order to a place to the point where you might become a tyrant or a tyrannical ruler of some sort. And I don't want that to like get you down in any way. As I said, nothing is yet set in stone. You can still change this outcome, but that might be what you gravitate towards in terms of the major arcana, is to be more controlling in the workplace. I think it looks like you also have, maybe you have choices with your career as well. That this is the Seven of Cups again. It's like illusionary choice, as I said, where you have all these options available to you, but you don't necessarily know which one is actually satisfactory towards you or which one is not. And I think that this could either be you're looking at other jobs to go to, or you are or you have multiple different projects that you can start to take on. I still get the sense that you're like a lawyer of some sort and you have like multiple cases that are coming through, but this could really apply to like any sort of career, and you're weighing whether or not you want to go with this option or that option. And that might be leading to you feeling like you need a sense of control. And this isn't necessarily like controlling of coworkers, but I think you're trying to like definitely control how the situation at work unfolds, even if it's not necessarily the best for you or for everybody else. Speaking honestly, financially, how does that look for the end of your year? Oh my god. Okay. Wow, this is such good energy. This is good financially. Even though you have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, I think you're going to have what you've always financially worked up towards, what you've always kind of dreamed that your finances would look like. Like, it's a very abundant period for you, but you definitely are going to feel a sense of dissatisfaction of some sort, where something feels like it's going to be missing from your life and from this source of abundance. It could be a result of letting go, because it looks like you might be letting go of like some bad spending habits that you've had previously. You might be making a financial sacrifice of some kind. Like maybe you really wanted to buy this fancy new thing that you've always wanted, but then you realize like, oh, my car broke down or something like that. Not saying that that's actually going to happen, but maybe a more necessary expense comes up, and that's why you feel kind of sad about your financial situation, or that you don't necessarily have completely what you would like to have, but you're still satisfied with things. And it also looks like you're still going to be spending, but I think that it might be for your partner. Like you're spending money more towards your connections with other people. It might not even necessarily be your partner. Maybe it's like Christmas gifts that you're buying for your family, or something that you're buying for your friends. But I think you're also considering like your connection there and how that looks financially. Love life. I feel like you've had a very great love life this entire year. Your love life is definitely positive. I'm attracted to this green card here. No, it was this one. This one I was attracted to. And this one I'm definitely attracted to. Oh. Wow. Secret admirer. That's interesting. What are you feeling, first of all? Let's see what you're feeling. What is Pal 2 feeling? Oh, okay, that's pretty positive. And then can I get more insight about this secret admirer? Who is this? You know what? We're gonna pull these cards. We're gonna see who this person is so that you can look out for them. The horse. Ooh. They're somebody who is very mature and in their earth energy. Oh. Yeah, I knew that this card was going to come out. I feel like the Two of Wands belongs here, but the other one doesn't. Okay. So it looks like you're going to have a secret admirer towards the end of 2024. I don't know. It doesn't say much about your current partner, but it doesn't... Maybe you broke up with them? I don't feel like you did, though. I feel like the secret admirer is just somebody that kind of randomly came into your life. For some reason, I get the sense that they're from work, but that might just be for a few of you. So I definitely feel when it comes to romance, you're going to feel like you can manifest who you want to manifest. You feel like you have all the resources that you need to have a successful relationship, which I feel like might be attributed to the person that you're with now, where you feel more confident to take risks and to really like be who you want to be, get what you want to get out of the world, and so on and so forth. But it does look like you're going to have a secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. They're represented by the horse energy. Now, I feel like this reading just got very interesting. It always has been, but they're very reliable, very supportive, and cannot be defeated is very interesting. Maybe you'll feel... I kind of wonder if like you might have feelings for this secret admirer in spite of what you've been through with your current partner, and it's hard for you to understand like why you feel that way. Yeah, they're very like ambitious. They feel like they can achieve anything. And I feel like they're ultimate earth energy. Somebody who is very stable, very secure, very grounded, very loving and caring. And they advance forward with whatever it is. They'd never give up on things. I think a little bit of insight into the situation. I'm going to actually redraw these cards because I don't think the question that I asked is very thorough. Can I get a little bit of insight into the background of this person? Okay, and what's going to happen with them? That makes a lot of sense with what we have so far. Oh. I think that that's more so them than you, though. So, this person that is secretly admiring you, definitely an earth sign, like there's no doubt about it. They are somebody who is incredibly mature, incredibly like protective and secure. I feel like they have built an entire empire at this point and are really enjoying the rewards for it. They might be very like, I feel like people around them admire them for their hard work, and they've definitely moved up in their career and at some point and are, it could be like a boss, they could be pretty higher up than that even. They, I feel like, are given a new emotional opportunity of some sort, and that might be something that introduces you into life, or they might just kind of feel that way about you where they provide you with that new emotional opportunity to take, and it's a tempting offer because it definitely seems like it's fulfilling for you and could lead to something potentially good. But it also looks like they had some sort of death that came from something very truthful to them, if that makes sense. Like they had to face reality in some way in their past or even currently, and that might be why they're not bringing things up. Like maybe they know what the truth is. They know you're not going to leave your current partner for them, and that's why they're not going to come forward. But they've had some sort of transformation, some sort of minor transformation that has happened due to seeing the truth of a certain situation. I don't think you're going to take what they're offering you, though. With the Three of Swords there, that's somebody who has been incredibly heartbroken by something, and that heartbreak is almost irreparable to deal with it in reversed. Let me see. And it could be you too. Maybe you do end up getting heartbroken by them. Symbolizes a prolonged inability to move on from grief. This card wants you to know that it is okay to heal. Yeah, I think that they're definitely going to be a bit heartbroken from you, but they're eventually going to... I think it's going to be difficult for them to move on as well. It could be an ex too. Maybe like your ex got better. Because you did have the King of Pentacles earlier that was reversed, that you were still holding on to. So someone that maybe you were in a relationship with in 2023 is coming back. It doesn't have to though. But either way, I think you're going to let this person down easy. If they do happen to come forward to you. It could be that they get heartbroken because they realize you're with somebody and that you're not going to leave your current partner to be with them. Okay. Who are you going to end 2024 as? Last card. The Deer in reverse and the Lamb in reverse again. You're definitely in your earth energy. I think you're definitely trying to build something financially or career-wise. I've already talked about the Lamb in reverse, so you're still in that energy of being very like timid and shy and not really wanting to speak out about certain things. But it looks like the wolf energy, we'll see what the Deer in reverse brings. Yeah, I think your wolf in reverse energy is going to be into trying to be you might be a bit overprotective of people, or you're concerned about something. I don't know what you're concerned about, but I think it's about a person. And you're being protective over it. It could also be like maybe your career, maybe it's your partner. I'm not sure, but I don't know, there's something that's making you anxious and is preventing you from being in the calm, gentle, caring energy that you've been in before. And I don't know what that is. Let's see if I can get some clarification. What is putting them in this energy? Is it the secret admirer? Why are they concerned? Okay. I don't know how much that gives me clarity on the situation. I don't know. I think you're afraid of some sort of like truth that hasn't come to the light yet, basically, and you're trying to avoid it or ignore it. That, or you've been trying to like keep peace for a long time and it's not happening anymore. Like people are in conflict, and so you're trying to protect somebody that ends up in the middle of this conflict. But it also looks like a bit of selfishness. I don't want to say selfishness, but it's like you haven't been wanting to share your resources for a long time. You haven't been wanting to like really help. Oh wait, no, this is a Cups card. I'm sorry. Disregard that. How do I want to... I think you've been dissatisfied, and that's what's really driving this behavior. I don't think anything... I think this is more of like an emotional and mental thing that has happened. Or both, because you have the Swords and a Cups card. But you're just very bored for some reason about something, or very discontent about something. And it's not telling me what that is, but that's putting you in this energy. I feel like you want to protect somebody from the unknown of a certain situation. But that is the last of the reading there. As I said, nothing seems like it's set in stone, and things are always bound to change. But I hope this reading was helpful. I hope you have a good 2024, and I will see you in the next video. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. So, the card that you received is A New Romantic Cycle Begins, New Moon in Libra. And it looks like the theme of 2024 for you is going to be about compromising on certain issues, about negotiating the terms that you would like to negotiate. And it also looks like you're going to be doing things a lot in pairs. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. It could be that you're getting a new business partner. It could also be a romantic partner of some sort, but I think you're becoming more open to other people within this year, which is always a good thing. Now, we'll start by looking at your career within the first 4 months of 2024. What's your career look like? is the Major Arcana. I don't know why. The first two piles had that as well. So career-wise, it looks like things are going to be progressing very naturally, which is always a good sign. I think it's something that you're very deeply passionate about, since this is dealing with fire signs. And I think that whatever job that you're in is something that it comes very naturally to you, or it at least will within the first 4 months of 2024. But there looks like there's a certain new opportunity that's happening at work, or maybe a new opportunity that you receive that you're a little scared to commit to, because the Fool in reverse talks about a fear of commitment, a fear of taking a leap of faith, and really kind of like being called to take it. But as I said, you're just too afraid to move forward with that. So that's career-wise. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. Let's look at finances. Okay, that's pretty good. I feel like you are managing your finances pretty well when it comes to like balance. And I think, what exactly are we balancing here? That it's usually work-life balance that this card refers to. So maybe you feel like you are able to balance between professional needs of some sort, and then balance between what you want to spend on for yourself. You know, it's a healthy balance between, I feel like, paying your bills and getting that sort of logical stuff done, but you're also able to kind of enjoy the fruits of your labor by buying things that you personally like to have. But it definitely looks like you're going to be fighting in 2024. I don't know for what reason, but this card talks about the Nine of Wands talks about like a battle that has basically happened for a long time, and you're getting very tired of having to fight it, and it almost seems like it's too much to bear for you. It's not yet at that point, but it seems like it's been going on for a while, and it might be something that is exhausting for you to have to deal with financially. Like maybe you're so caught up in like budgeting and balancing your finances and figuring out what to spend on what, that it's starting to really frustrate you in some way. Yeah, you might be frustrated because you feel like you can't really achieve your financial goals as well. And like, you know, maybe you're doing really well at balancing between like buying things that you want or buying things that you need. But you kind of want more, and you want to be able to do more with your finances. So I see that happening within the first 4 months with your finances. Romantically, where did I put those cards? Here they are, right in front of my face. Okay. Do I want to pull any more? I don't feel the need to pull anymore. I'm gonna do these cards this time. I didn't do them last time for the other two piles, but I'm feeling more confident using these. Oh my god. Can I get some clarification about the love life in the beginning of 2024? I don't want that many cards. Thank you very much. Okay. Wow. So it looks like you're going to be healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. Healed from what exactly is my question, because this is very positive energy. I don't think you're breaking up with anybody or healing from a bad relationship. I do get the feeling that you're probably with somebody or meeting somebody. Oh, I forgot to mention too, I think you might be in the party that's getting married, because this card right here talked about a legal case that was either coming to a close and being in your favor, or you're getting married. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense with these cards. I think you're definitely starting a new chapter of your life with somebody else in some way, shape, or form. And maybe it's healing to you from all the previous relationships that you've had. Maybe it's healing to, I think it's just healing in general to be with somebody who understands you and accepts you and loves you. But it's just very positive energy. The reason I say it's probably a wedding of some sort is you have the Four of Wands here and it's reversed. But the Four of Wands tends to talk about like marriage. And I think that it reversed still has a very positive message. It just might feel like maybe somebody's missing from the wedding. Maybe there were a few things that you didn't necessarily expect that you might be like, oh, that's a little weird. But I don't think that it's going to be overall diluted. I think you're still going to have a very successful, healthy marriage at the beginning of 2024 and settling into that. But it's definitely not going to be something that is completely perfect, as nothing really is. I don't know if you're preparing for the wedding, or if it actually happens. Maybe like you're planning on getting married later in the year. You do have the Three of Wands here, so you're waiting for something. I don't know what it is that you're waiting for, but I don't know, you're giving very traditional energy. What is this person waiting for? It's a positive result that you're gonna get back. Oh my God. Justice in reverse. Maybe you're like both camps where you're waiting on a case. Okay, finances. That's definitely understandable. Or maybe you're waiting on a person, because the Queen of Coins could relate to a person as well. This is somebody who is very like protective and loving and gentle, and the Queen of Coins just gives me very Mother Earth energy. Like whatever you can associate with Mother Earth, you can associate with the Queen of Coins, whatever is healthy in that regard. I think you're waiting for something that might seem a little unfair at first. It has something to do with fairness, like maybe a situation that happened that might end up dulling the wedding. Maybe it's with this person here that's very loving and protective. Like maybe they get held up by something and they can't attend the wedding, and that kind of makes you feel sad. Whatever it is, it's related to like a situation that feels like it's been unfair for a while now. And it has something to do with a person that is very like nurturing and loving and caring and wants to guide people and help them grow as a person. Could be like court case results for a very select few of you, because this does talk about like a court case. But whatever it is, I feel like it has something to do with maybe diluting the marriage a little bit. I don't think this has to do with your partner diluting the marriage. It could just be an outside situation that you've been waiting for along with your wedding might dilute it. And then you have Three of Cups, which is celebration and can also mean childbirth. So maybe you're pregnant and you're waiting to have the baby in that month, because this could be after as well, or it could even be before. But whatever it is, you're pretty much like celebrating your love life in 2024 at the beginning. So that's very nice to hear. Some good news. Let's look at who you are in the beginning of the year. You seem like you have a lot going on. Starfish. Interesting. You're definitely somebody, I feel like, that gets cut down, but you're able to kind of recover for that, because the starfish makes me think about how you can kind of cut their limbs off and they can just kind of grow that back. So I think you're somebody who can take loss pretty well, and can kind of recover from that not fairly quickly, but quicker than most people do. Okay, so I feel like you're somebody who's very uplifting and artistic and expressive, but it definitely talks about, like, it's like natural and exquisite beauty. So I feel like everyone is attracted to you in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be like romantically attracted to you or whatnot, but I think you do put a lot of emphasis on your personal appearance, or maybe you do just because of the whole wedding situation that may or may not be happening. And that might take away from the positives of the situation that's happening, or you kind of enjoying the moment a bit more. But overall, you seem to be in very positive energy within 2024. Let's look at the middle of 2024 for your career. Career. Father of Wands. What's going to be happening with the Father of Wands? Ooh, okay. So I feel like you're being incredibly stubborn about something work related within the next few months. And it's to the point, because upright, it's somebody who is able to stand alone in something. And it's somebody who is facing a lot of, like, how do I describe it? It's somebody who does not mind standing by themselves for something that they believe in. It's somebody who is willing to, like, really fight for their own interests. But when it's reversed, it's somebody who either doesn't feel confident enough to speak up for themselves, or is doing it, but it's not really for a good cause, and it doesn't really help them or look good for them, basically. So I think that you might have a position or a project or a viewpoint about work that not a lot of people agree with, and might not even be good for the workplace in general. And that might not necessarily go too well with you. It also looks like this is either you or a coworker. It's somebody who has stepped into their creative and passionate energy. They're somebody who has, like, moved up to a very high position. They're very mature about the way that they handle things. They have their temper under control a lot of the times. There's somebody who is like that teacher that encourages you and that inspires you, and that, like, brings out the passion of other people. Like, they're in leadership for a reason. I think either you or this person, and this could have something to do with the situation with the Seven of Wands reversed, is going to try to go at something alone that needs a group partner, or that needs somebody to like work with them. They're going to be working for their own interests instead of the interests of the team, basically, and refusing collaboration of some sort. And I think that that's going to be an incredibly frustrating situation to deal with in the middle of 2024. Let's look at finances in the middle of 2024. What do their finances look like in 2024? Okay. Why are we getting people cards here? Somebody, I don't know if it's you, but somebody is going to have a very bad temper about the financial situation of 2024. And it's going to be unsettling in a way. I think maybe you're going to go overboard about your passions, and you're going to, I feel like this has something to do with like the marriage, if you are getting married, where you and your partner might disagree about how you want to spend your finances, and it might be incredibly just like irritating to deal with them because you've always just kind of spent things on what you're passionate about, and now you have to consider another person into that equation. Because this is the type of person that like loses their mind, and can be incredibly like controlling about things, trying to make their ideas come to life financially when really it's not good for anybody, even themselves. I don't know if that's you or if that's somebody else, but as I said, somebody's not going to be very, very satisfied with finances. I think your finances are going to be abundant though, with the Empress being here. So that's a good sign. I don't know if I can really speak on to anything else. You're going to feel pretty healthy and confident about your finances. And I think you're going to start a new beginning in terms of, oh, I'm able to spend things on what I enjoy, or I'm going to try to spend things on what I enjoy. Like, I think you're going to be interested in like newness of things and the novelty of things to you, that satisfy you emotionally.
So I'm editing, and I think I forgot to mention with the Empress card that I think a lot of your expenses are going to go towards like beauty and taking care of yourself and really being more like nurturing. And I did mention at the beginning of the reading how you might be expecting a child. So I think for some of you that are going to be having a kid, your finances are going to be dedicated a lot towards that, more so than or even just like self-care. You don't even have to be having a kid, but for some of you that are having a child, I think you're going to be focused on like trying to nurture them and trying to take care of them. And that could be why that card is there as well.
Let's look at the middle. Middle of 2024 for your love life. I really want to pull this card. What's the situation here? for the love life in the middle of 2024. Come on. Oh. Okay. So, emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. Yeah, you're definitely going to be in a very foggy state when it comes to your love life in the middle of 2024. I think, yeah, you might be the one that's angry about the financial situation, because of the whole resentment thing. But it looks like you have a lot of, like, illusionary options open to you. And that's kind of concerning to me, because I don't know if that necessarily means that you're interested in pursuing other people when you've just gotten into a relationship. Or maybe, because a lot of you probably aren't even in the marriage aspect. Maybe you were just celebrating your relationship at one point, but now it kind of seems like, I don't know how to describe it. I think you're considering your other options, even though you might already be in a relationship, or maybe you guys ended things between each other and now you're kind of like looking to date other people. I don't know. There's a lot of like fogginess where you feel like your options are open when it comes to your love life, when they're really, it's not necessarily like that, or it's like all the options aren't necessarily good for you. And it looks like there's a little bit of crushed innocence here, maybe even trauma that is influencing a lot of your decisions. And you need to be able to like process that and go work through a lot of the trauma that you've been through when it comes to your childhood, because that's a lot of what this card can talk about, before you proceed with choosing something. That would be my suggestion there. But that, it seems like your love life is going to be kind of foggy in the middle of 2024, and you're going to feel a little bit like your innocence was crushed or lost in some way, and you feel the need to like look at other options. Okay. The end. Nope. I'm looking at who you are in the middle of 2024. Well, you've got a lot going for you. Scorpion, I've seen before. It looks like you could be an air sign, you could be a fire sign. Especially with Libra here. I think you're definitely gonna be pissed off about something and pretty short-tempered in the middle of 2024. I don't know what exactly is causing it. Maybe it's the work situation that happened, but you're definitely on your fiery side, and you have a lot of unresolved resentment that pops up in the middle of the month that you're going to be trying to work through and accept. You have the bee, which they're pretty orderly as a species and tend to do things at the expense of themselves. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of of this theme coming through, where it's like working with other people is going to be a lot of what happens in 2024. Because I think you do like to be around people. I think you do like to work with them and be on teams. You're somebody who works very steadily and thoughtfully, and you like to be creative and add creative details to your content. But if you get overworked, which might be what leads to a lot of the energy that we've seen in the middle of this month, it does say that you might sting and gripe and be annoyed by whatever it is that by the workplace that you're dealing with. And I definitely think there's some sort of work situation that happens that you're frustrated with. But you're still going to feel positive at the end of the day. Yeah, smart, curious, loves to learn. I think you're definitely going to be learning a lot, and you're definitely going to be curious about a lot. And it looks like you're somebody who knows how to get what they want. You're someone who knows how to successfully complete some sort of job in a way that other people really can't. And you're going to be exploring your spirituality more within the middle of the month of 2024.
I also wanted to mention how, like, when I was talking about the stinging too, you have the scorpion and the bee. And I think that, like, I don't necessarily know if that's like a bumblebee, but I think that you can be, I think in the middle of 2024, especially, there's going to be this like dynamic with the hummingbird there where you're very like generous and you want to like pollinate and, you know, really nurture other people and be there for other people. But when you're overworked or you just have too much going on, you can become easily very like agitated, and you can really like sting people and hurt people and think about how like to get even, especially with like the scorpion, how they're very like poisonous. And with the bee too, when you sting as like a bee, when you sting as a bee, a very specific type of bee, sometimes you can even like hurt yourself in the process. So I think that that's like kind of a warning throughout the year, is to make sure that you make time to be more nurturing towards other people, and you're not stuck in this like overworked energy where you feel like you're kind of like serving somebody else, if that makes sense. But I just thought that I would add that.
We're going to look at career towards the end of 2024. Wow, this year started off really positive, and now it seems to be spiraling a little bit, to be completely honest. Anything else about career? Okay. There's going to be some things falling out in your career. I think you might have been triggered to leave by the situation that happened in the middle of the month, because it looks like you're looking for new opportunities. But they're going to end up kind of falling through. You have the Ace of Cups and then the Ace of Wands in reverse for both of them. And I think you're going to feel like looking at other positions is going to be helpful to you. And maybe what you were looking at in terms of other careers or other projects you thought was going to be incredibly emotionally fulfilling. You were very passionate and willing to add your creative energy to it. You felt like you were ready to undertake this new adventure, and it had so much potential for you, but I think they're going to end up falling through, either because you found out that you're no longer passionate about it, it no longer fulfills you, or something else kind of happens to provoke that ending of some sort. But it's a failure in potential of something. But you seem like you're still going to persist and carry on and try to work with all the elements that are working against you with the Chariot here. And you're going to continue to move forward and push and fight against that. And I think really you're going to try to make a plan of some sort and stick to that plan and persevere to make sure that things go smoothly again. So you're still going to be advancing within your career. I just think you're going to have a few small opportunities that are going to fall through for you that might be a little bit disappointing. Financially. How are you going to do financially at the end of 2024? Lots of cards here. Still pissed off. Very much so pissed off. Still have the King of Wands here. And as I said, like, that's somebody who is losing their temper a bit about situations that they're in control over and will almost like try to spite you in a way because they don't have a lot of control over their emotions, but they definitely know how to use them and manipulate it to be what they want it to be. I think it's going to be abundant for you again because you have the Empress. So I don't think it's a concern about the amount of money. Maybe it's like the spending that's more of a concern. And it looks like there is a cause for celebration here. It's just either delayed or it feels like it's been dampened. I think you're going to get some sort of recognition or some sort of success when it comes to your finances. And you also have the Sun here, which is a generally very warm card where you feel satisfied and warm. But it's definitely diluted by something. And I think that dilution is due to the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Somebody seems like they're spending a bit selfishly and not really collaborating on finances, and that might contribute to a lot of the King of Wands' anger towards the situation. And it also looks like you have the Seven of Wands. So somebody is not only not collaborating with you, but they're being incredibly secretive about things. And I kind of get the feeling it's maybe a partnership type of thing. I do think that that's what the Seven of Swords is somebody's keeping secrets. Somebody's being very sneaky, that's for sure. Yeah. Somebody's definitely lying to you about something to do with finances. And I think that that's going to really cause things to boil over with the King of Wands in reverse. And I think it's for selfish gain. Love life. We'll see how that goes. How is your love life looking? I hope it's looking good. I'm attracted to that card. Can I get more clarification on love life, please, for the end of 2024? Oh. Wow. I really hope that things work out for you, because this I'm not gonna lie about what the message is. Ooh, yeah, that does not look good. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. I definitely do think you're learning lessons in love. I don't know if you or your partner are the King of Wands reversed, but the King of Wands we've seen it a lot in this reading. It's somebody who, as I said, can be very volatile, does not have a lot of control over their emotions, will kind of use emotions as a way to get other people to undergo change, kind of manipulative in a way, to get what they want and to see their vision come to life. But I think there's definitely a need to consider isolating yourself from this person and to really like get back into your own energy, I would say. I think you have the Five of Cups here, and the Five of Cups is where you're so focused on the minor disappointments and so focused on like the spilled milk aspect that you don't see the two cups that are still upright behind you. It's like where you're basically tunnel vision on the loss that you faced. So I think that might be why like isolating yourself is encouraged, and really kind of figuring out what it is that you would like to receive out of your relationship. And to hear like love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. I think that it's also like figuring out what you want out of the relationship, figuring out how that works with the other person, figuring out compromising with them, negotiating with them, because that is the theme of the year, it seems, and trying to find that happy medium, I would say. But it definitely looks like you're going to be spending a little bit of time alone, maybe to cool off and kind of figure out what that looks like for you. I don't know if that necessarily means a breakup. It could be a breakup, but I get the feeling that that's not the case. It's more about like compromising in general. Okay. That kind of slipped out. I don't think that was meant to. The fox in reverse and then the snake in reverse. I'm not gonna lie, this year seems like it's gonna end on a low note. You're definitely gonna be a little bit sneaky about something within 2024, and that could be you in the financial situation. And you're definitely going to be stopping and starting many things. I don't know if that's projects. I don't know if that's like new relationships or whatnot, but it definitely looks like you're not really committing to anything. And because in the middle of your reading, there was also talk of like looking at other options. So maybe you're considering even like cheating on your partner and going through with that. But it definitely seems like you're not in a very healthy state at the end of 2024. That's very uncomfortable to have to explain. And I do want to mention too that it's like things are not set in stone. Again, this is a tarot reading. It's cardboard cards that I am interpreting. And you know, it's not always going to be accurate. Maybe things will change and you have the ability to make a change, but those are the predictions as of right now if things continue the way that they are. But I do hope that like 2024 is going to be a good year for you and that things start looking up for you. And I hope that you enjoyed this reading.